Hi guys, my name's Khadroth, and today I wanted to talk to you about story locked units. This is a question I get from new players all the time. Can I roll a story locked unit? And the answer is yes, you can. Just maybe it's a little bit more confusing for you than you thought at first. So a lot of people get confused by the aspect of what it means when a unit is story locked. To explain this to you, as you move throughout the story, you're going to end up completing story chapters. Each one of them will give you access to new story locked units up to a certain point. Again, this even continues through the Lost Belts, but once you get to the Lost Belts, most of them are actually going to be of a lower rarity, though you do occasionally have even an SSR here. Now, again, this doesn't mean you're going to get a copy of the unit necessarily. There are some cases where they do give you a unit for completing a chapter, but they tend to be low rarity. Just again, there are exceptions. But what this does mean is that, again, you're going to complete story chapters, and then they will be added to the story gacha, the summoning pool that is always available throughout the game for you. Now, that is as opposed to limited rate up banners, which always are on rotation and always end up having expiration dates. The story gacha, on the other hand, is just always there. Don't confuse this with the FP pool. This one is just that permanent one that's always going to be sitting around and never changes. Now, the issue at play here, though, is that, again, all this does is add them to that pool. You would still have to roll in order to get them. But even if you haven't done story to actually unlock, say, Seatonai here for Goddard Damarung, you can still roll Seatonai if she gets an actual rate up banner. So again, regardless of where you're at in the story, you can roll that unit when they get a banner. That's perfectly fine. But they will not be added to the story gacha until you actually complete the chapter for that point. Now, the next question I get all the time is, Cad, should I roll the story gacha? And the answer to that is no. No, you shouldn't. It's not the worst thing in the world for newer players to roll the story gacha. Honestly, early on in your account's history, you won't have a lot of the units, and so rolling in the story gacha is not really punishing for you. You're just getting all new stuff. The problem that I would still say is the smart way to play it is to go after certain key units. And as your account gets better, as you progress throughout the game, you start really wanting certain units to fill in the gaps that your account has. So again, starting out from the get-go of just going after certain key units is going to help you. You might have to tough it out with some lower rarity units from time to time, but in FGO, honestly, the low rarity units are actually pretty serviceable and good, so don't worry about that. If you need help with that, again, I have the new player guide that goes through them all with you and can tell you which ones that you should probably be focusing on early on. But still, I'm going to again say that, like, the better strategy for you is to actually go after those certain key units. And again, some of them can be big meta supports. Some of them can be just high octane units that are of the SSR variety. But maybe it's just one of your favorite units as well. Maybe that's the whole reason you're getting into playing the game, is you have a key unit out there that you just really like and you want to get your hands on. That's why I would advise you to roll the limited rate ups for the units you want and save in between. Otherwise, if you're just going to throw caution to the wind and roll in the story gacha, you don't really get any rate up in that. So again, it's just a really sort of Wild West like scenario where anything goes. However, with the story gacha, all that's available in it are your permanently available units and any story locked units you've unlocked. No limited units. So they're not going to be there. They're only going to be in those limited rate ups. But you can see limited rate ups that also have permanent units or story locked units. Similarly, permanent units, regardless of the banner that you're rolling on, can spook you. They're just permanently available in the game. And so as a result of that, they can always show up. But if you're trying to get your hands on one of these story locked units, again, you're either going to have to roll the story banner after you unlock them, or you're going to have to roll an actual rate up that has them on it. Still, the other consideration for rolling the story banner is the fact that it doesn't have the pity system, which now both NA and JP servers have. So that is going to be another reason not to roll as you guys move throughout the game. Your limited rate up should have the pity system, and again, I know not everyone will necessarily be able to save that much all at once, but it will be a very nice safety net there for you if you do manage to get very bad luck. So the current advice is to basically try to save up at least enough to be able to hit the pity should you require it. And then from there, you can use your quartz how you want. But again, I hope this helps you. I hope this answers the question as to what a story locked unit is and how you can acquire them. They are kind of weird. There's not too many that are getting added to the game anymore. And I think even the devs kind of realize that, you know, they're kind of limited in that regard, but not quite given as freely available as some of the limited units. In fact, some of the limited units get more banners in them just by virtue of them being very popular. So again, I highly advise not rolling on the story gacha, but it's not going to kill you if you do. So don't feel bad if you already have. Again, thank you guys for watching. I will see you guys for the next video. Have a good one.